I don't have my hanging ball sack off my face. My bat wings are gone too.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Reality Ways. Today, we're not just telling a story, we're stepping into a journey. A journey that is raw, painful, human, and unbelievably inspiring. A journey that shows just how far the human spirit can go when the world says, you can't. This is the story of Tammy Slaton, a woman who the world once laughed at, criticized, and judged without mercy. A woman who lived her darkest days in front of millions. A woman who people thought would never survive, let alone transform. But she did. She didn't just transform her body. She transformed her life, her future, and her identity. And to understand her transformation, we first have to understand the darkness she came from. When audiences first saw Tammy on 1,000 Pound Sisters, she was already struggling. At over 700 pounds, every breath was a fight. Every step was a battle. The little things, sitting up, getting dressed, walking a few steps, felt like climbing a mountain with weights chained to her entire body. But the physical weight was only one part of her suffering. There was emotional weight too. Weight from past trauma. Weight from loss. Weight from being judged all her life. Weight from feeling like she wasn't enough. Weight from believing her body was a cage she couldn't escape. The world only saw the numbers on the scale. They didn't see the pain behind her eyes. And as her health declined, doctors warned her over and over again that her body wouldn't hold on forever. There were hospitalizations, emergency oxygen, blood sugar spikes, infections. Moments where she came terrifyingly close to losing her life. But even through all of that, there was a tiny spark inside her. A spark that quietly whispered, "Not yet. I still have something to fight for." That spark is what changed everything. In July of 2022, Tammy made one of the biggest decisions of her life: bariatric surgery. But it wasn't as simple as scheduling a procedure. It took months of preparation, diet changes, medical evaluations, psychological evaluations, physical therapy, complete rewiring of how she thought about food, about comfort, about coping. Weight loss isn't just about losing pounds, it's about losing the habits that protected your pain. Tammy cried. She struggled. There were days she wanted to quit, but she didn't. And after the surgery, the transformation began slowly. The scale moved. Clothes became looser. Her breathing improved. Her face changed. Her eyes opened wider. Her voice became clearer. Her smile grew bigger. That spark inside her grew stronger. 200 pounds gone. 300 pounds gone. 400? 450? 500. And then one day, the number she thought she would never see again appeared in front of her. Around 200 pounds. She had lost more than half her body weight. And for the first time in nearly 2 decades, she looked in the mirror and didn't just see a body, she saw herself. But transformation isn't perfect. And massive weight loss comes with its own challenges. Excess skin, heavy, painful, stretching across her body, became the next mountain to climb. Skin that pulled on her muscles. Skin that caused rashes and infections. Skin that reminded her of the weight she had once carried. And more than anything, that skin affected her confidence. So Tammy set her eyes on the next step: skin removal, surgery. But doctors hesitated. Her protein levels weren't where they needed to be. Her recovery capacity needed improvement. And one of the biggest concerns, her vaping habit. When the doctor said she wasn't ready, it felt like the universe was taking away something she had fought so hard for. She cried. Not because she was weak, but because she was tired of fighting, tired of losing, tired of always starting over. But instead of breaking, she rose. She stopped vaping. She changed her nutrition to listen to every instruction, to prove she was ready, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And finally, one day, the doctors looked at her and said the words that felt like a new sunrise: "You're approved." The skin removal surgery took nearly 8 hours. Surgeons removed around 15 pounds of excess skin, especially from her chin, arms, and stomach. When she woke up, she was scared to look, scared of the pain, scared of the scars, scared of who she would see staring back. But when those bandages came off, everything changed. Her jawline returned, her cheeks shaped. Eyes looked brighter. Her face no longer hid her expression, it revealed it. She didn't just look different, she looked free. In recovery, Tammy faced pain again, swelling, soreness, tight skin stretching in new ways. But this time, she didn't hide. She didn't run. She didn't cover up. She didn't apologize. She shared her scars with the world. On TikTok, Tammy uploaded raw, unfiltered images of her healing process. No beauty filters. No fake perfection. Just truth. And the world didn't judge this time. The world admired her, celebrated her, cheered for her. For the first time in her life, Tammy didn't feel like she had to hide from the camera. She could walk into a room without wondering what people thought. She could smile and feel like that smile was real. She could stand next to her family, not as the one falling behind, but as a woman who got her life back. Then something extraordinary happened. Tammy attended a meet and greet in Kentucky. She walked in with confidence. Her steps were steady, her head high, her smile bright. People didn't stare out of shock anymore. They stared out of admiration. This was not the Tammy the world once mocked. This was a warrior, a survivor. A woman reborn. She laughs differently now. She talks differently now. She lives differently now. It's because Tammy didn't just lose weight. She lost fear. She lost shame. She lost the belief that she wasn't enough. And in its place, she found herself. Her story is not about perfection. It's not about overnight success. It's not about looking good for the camera. It's about pain and healing and rising and choosing to live when living felt impossible. Tammy's journey is a message to anyone listening right now. You can fall. You can break. You can fall apart completely. You can have moments where the world thinks you're done. But as long as you don't give up, your story is not over. Tammy Slaton is living proof that no matter how dark your past was, your future can still shine brighter than you ever imagined. Thank you for watching this journey here on Reality Ways. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more real transformations, real stories, and real hope. This is Reality Ways, and we'll see you in the next video.
I mean, with that many people living in the house, she ain't gonna get no peace. So I understand why she's ready for them to go.
There was a time when Tammy Slaton believed her story was already written. A time when the world doubted her, mocked her, dismissed her, and assumed her fate was sealed. Cameras rolled, headlines spread, and social media turned her into a symbol of failure. But what no one saw was the fire inside her that refused to die. This is the story of how the woman who once struggled to stand, breathe, and survive is now walking into restaurants with her head held high, shoulders back, smiling, glowing, and meeting fans like a star reborn. For years, Tammy struggled. Her unhealthy eating habits became a cycle she couldn't escape. Every setback pushed her deeper into frustration. Every negative comment made her feel smaller on the inside, even while her body only grew heavier. Doctors warned her. Her family cried for her. The audience shook their heads. And yet Tammy continued living in the same pattern. Pain, regret, binge. Temporary promises, repeat. When she first appeared on 1,000 Pound Sisters, many viewers didn't think she would survive long enough to see a transformation. There were days she refused help, days she pushed her family away, days she fell into denial. There were moments when Tammy seemed to have given up entirely. And then life hit her with something no one could ignore. A health emergency, coma, a moment where her life was hanging by a thread. It was in that darkness that Tammy woke up, not just physically but mentally. The coma wasn't just a medical condition, it was a turning point. The moment Tammy realized she did not want to die. Not like this. Not yet. Not when she still had a life worth fighting for. In 2022, after years of failed attempts, tears, arguments, and self-blame, Tammy finally underwent weight loss surgery. And what followed was nothing short of astonishing. Over the next 3 years, Tammy lost 500 pounds. 500. Half of her body, half of her old identity. Half of the weight that once kept her trapped. But the transformation didn't stop there. Season 7, when many thought she had already reached her peak, Tammy went in for skin removal surgery, an 8-hour procedure that removed more than 15 pounds of excess skin from her body. And that surgery wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. Tammy wasn't just shedding weight, she was shedding her past. And then she stepped back into the world. Recently, Tammy appeared at a meet and greet hosted in a small restaurant in Kentucky. The kind of place you would never expect to see a reality TV star, let alone one who had once been labeled as hopeless. The event was intimate, quiet, almost hidden from the outside world. But inside, the energy was different. Fans weren't just there to take pictures. They were there to witness a miracle. A Reddit user who attended described Tammy as glowing, a bright smile on her face, a new light in her eyes, and for the first time, her arms, once weighed down with heavy excess skin, were slim, visible, and free. She was wearing a black off-shoulder top, showing confidence, pride, and comfort in her body. Something she once thought she would never feel again. And what stood out the most? Her presence, her personality, her energy. Tammy wasn't hiding. She wasn't ashamed. She wasn't defensive. She was alive, fully, unapologetically. This was not the same Tammy who used to lash out, shut down, or avoid interaction. This was a Tammy smiling, laughing, engaging, and connecting, not just with others, but with herself. For years, Tammy had isolated herself. She avoided crowds. She avoided cameras when they weren't required. She avoided her own reflection. But now, she wants to meet people. She wants to hear the support. She wants to feel the love she once couldn't accept. This is confidence earned the hard way. Not gifted, not handed, earned. But as Tammy rises, something else begins to shift. For the first time, Tammy is stepping into a spotlight that isn't controlled by the show, the producers, or the network. A spotlight she owns. And this has sparked conversations, loud ones. Is Tammy preparing for a solo spinoff? Tammy's transformation isn't just a weight loss, it's a complete evolution. And evolution comes with new direction. New choices. And sometimes, new separation. Because not everything in the Slaton family is peaceful. In Season 6, Tammy had a heated argument with her sister Amanda Halterman, one that ended with Tammy being kicked out of the house she lived in. The house Amanda and her ex-husband owned. Words were exchanged, lines were crossed. And Tammy, for the first time, drew boundaries. Amanda's dead to me. Not a threat, not drama, a line, a boundary. Tammy decided she didn't need that chaos. She didn't want that toxicity. And that decision opened a new chapter. The possibility of leaving Kentucky. Kentucky has been the center of the show. The backdrop of every memory, every fight, every meal, every breakdown, every victory. But Tammy is no longer the same woman who couldn't leave her home. Now she can move, she can travel, she can make choices for her life. And that scares some people. Because if Tammy leaves Kentucky, she may also leave the show as we know it. It's that possibility. It's where the spin-off speculation rises. A Tammy-focused series would be different. It wouldn't just follow medical appointments or arguments. Spone Susilla. It would show Tammy living her new life, from shopping for new clothes, to traveling, to rediscovering her personality, to dating again, to learning who she is without the weight. But there's another layer fans have noticed. Amy is struggling, not physically, emotionally. For years, Amy was viewed as the successful sister. She got weight loss surgery first. She married. She had kids. She moved on with her life. While Tammy was stuck in place, but now, Tammy is rising. And Amy is slowing down. And that shift hurts. Viewers have noticed Amy's reactions. The hesitation in her voice, the forced smiles, the quiet frustration. The comparison is unavoidable, but painful, because Tammy's success has created a new dynamic. One where Tammy no longer needs Amy, one where the roles have reversed, one where Tammy is inspiring others, including her own sister. And this shift is shaking the foundation of the entire Slaton family dynamic, and possibly the entire show. Because 1,000-Pound Sisters was never just about weight. It was about identity, power, dependence, roles, who leads and who follows, who struggles and who succeeds, who breaks and who rises. Tammy is stepping forward, strong, confident, independent, and the world is watching. This isn't the end of her story. This is the beginning of a brand new chapter. A chapter where Tammy Slaton is not just surviving, not just recovering, but living. And she's not afraid of the spotlight anymore. She's walking directly into it. 'Cause for the first time in her life, Tammy knows she deserves it.
All right, Tammy. As it stands right now, nobody here is trained to take care of you 24.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Reality Ways. Today, we're not just talking about a transformation you can see. We're talking about a transformation you can feel. A journey that began in pain, heartbreak, judgment, and struggle, and slowly transformed into strength, healing, and courage. This is the continuing story of Tammy Slaton and the emotional shift happening around her. Her family, her relationships, and her life after massive weight loss and skin removal surgery. But to understand where Tammy is now, we must remember where she once was. There was a time when Tammy's life looked like it was collapsing around her. She was trapped inside her own body, battling addiction, loneliness, and constant criticism. People doubted her. Some mocked her. Many believed she would never change. And even Tammy began to lose faith in herself. It all built up until one day, her body simply could not handle the pressure anymore, and she slipped into a medically induced coma. It was a terrifying, silent moment where her family, the show, and the world wondered if her story had come to an end. But instead, that moment became the beginning of her fight back to life. After waking up, something inside Tammy shifted. Slowly, painfully, and courageously, she began to lose the weight that had been holding her prisoner for so long. Then, in 2022, she underwent weight loss surgery, a turning point that changed everything. And over the next 3 years, Tammy lost more than 500 pounds. She shed the weight, but she also shed the doubts, the fear, and the belief that she was unworthy of healing. But weight loss alone did not mean the journey was over. Because even after achieving something extraordinary, her body carried another burden, the heavy, loose skin that came after losing so much weight so quickly. On her chin, her arms, her stomach, the weight of the past still clung to her. In season 7 of 1,000-Pound Sisters, Tammy underwent another life-changing procedure, skin removal surgery. The surgery removed more than 15 pounds of excess skin. It took hours. It required strength most people will never understand. And it demanded bravery that came from every scar she had earned along the way. When Tammy awoke, she didn't just see a new reflection. She saw proof that she had survived everything that tried to destroy her. After the surgery, Tammy went into recovery, and instead of hiding the swelling, the stitched skin, the healing scars, she did something incredibly powerful. She shared them. She stood in front of the world and said, "This is me. This is the journey. This is the truth. No filters, no shame, just raw honesty." And people didn't judge. They supported her. They rooted for her. They saw her strength and they saw her heart. As Tammy grew stronger, her confidence began to shine in a way we had never seen before. Recently, Tammy attended a meet and greet event in a small restaurant in Kentucky, a simple place but a powerful moment. Photos taken at the event didn't just show a thinner face or slimmer arms. They showed a smile, a real one. A smile full of pride, relief, and peace. Tammy stood in a black off-shoulder top, her arms visible, no longer hiding the parts of herself she once tried to cover. She was open, present, joyful, She wasn't running from the world anymore. She was meeting it. She was embracing it. And perhaps one of the most emotional changes wasn't physical at all. It was how Tammy interacted with the people around her. The same woman who once avoided crowds, avoided cameras, avoided conversations, was now talking, laughing, and connecting. She was no longer weighed down by shame or fear. She was stepping into her life fully awake, fully present, and fully aware of how far she had come. But transformations like these don't happen in a vacuum. They happen alongside the relationships that shape us, heal us, or sometimes hurt us. Over the years, Tammy and her family, especially Amy, have shared their struggles publicly. The arguments, the disagreements, the emotional wounds, all of it was real. And while the love between them was always there, it was complicated, messy, and sometimes painful. Recently, viewers have noticed a shift, not just in Tammy, but in Amy as well. Amy, who once felt emotionally strong and motivated during her own weight loss journey, has been going through challenges of her own. Divorce, stress, depression, and the responsibility of raising 2 young children have weighed heavily on her. Fans have picked up on the worry in her eyes, the exhaustion in her voice, the changes in her appearance. They have noticed her withdrawing, struggling, and losing some of the confidence she once had. This has led to moments where tensions have surfaced, especially when Tammy's achievements began to shine brighter than ever. Some fans believe Amy's attention drifted toward her new relationship, her wedding planning, and her emotional battles, sometimes at moments when Tammy needed her the most. But life is complicated. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. And love between sisters doesn't disappear even when distance grows. The truth is this: both Tammy and Amy are humans. Both are carrying heavy emotional history. Both have been broken, rebuilt, and broken again. And both are still learning how to love themselves while trying to love others. Sometimes that journey is beautiful. Sometimes it is messy, but it is real. While fans worry about Amy's emotional health, one thing is clear: she is trying. She has started therapy. She is acknowledging her mental health. And although she is struggling, she is also seeking help, and that is courage. Meanwhile, Tammy has found something incredibly stabilizing: support outside of the drama. Friends who uplift her. People who celebrate her. A partner who sees her heart. These friendships and relationships have brought peace into her life, helping her feel supported in ways that once felt unreachable. And fans are asking, maybe it's time we see that part of Tammy's life on screen. The joy, the growth, the community she's building. Because Tammy's story is no longer a story about pain. It is a story about rising. She is not just surviving. She is not just improving. She is living. She is discovering who she is when she is not weighed down by illness, fear, or judgment. She is learning how to love again deeply and freely. She is learning how to trust herself. She is learning how to stand tall in every room she enters. And that brings us to the bigger question fans are asking. Is Tammy ready for her own show? Maybe the world is ready to see Tammy not as someone struggling, but as someone thriving. A show about healing. A show about self-discovery. A show about freedom. Because Tammy's story is not about weight anymore. It is about worth. And she finally knows hers. Thank you for watching and supporting this journey. If Tammy's story has taught us anything, it's that no matter how far you fall, no matter how long you struggle, no matter how many times you break, your story is not over unless you stop trying. And Tammy never stopped. This is Reality Ways. And we'll see you in the next chapter.